ladies, today's video is basic tips on preparing for a crisis. So first, you need to think about the main things you need. Water. You need to buy some water, buy bottles of water. You can go longer without food than water. I was reminded of this recently. So if you're thinking, oh, I need to start building up an emergency kit or emergency cupboard, survival cupboard, then think water. Water so that you can drink, you can wash yourself, wash your clothes, wash your food, cook. Water, water, water. The second thing is food. Canned foods, dried fruit, nuts, lentils, rice, something like a beef jerky, things that are like dried, salted, canned, tinned, those type of things, they don't go off very quickly. So you want to start stocking up on canned items. There is medical, a first aid kit, supplements, vitamins. Some of us, we have a first aid kit in the house. Me, I need to even check what's in there. I need to do a first aid course. Let's go and do a first aid course, right? Let's get a first aid kit in our house in the first place, but get a first aid kit. Think of medical. All right, there's hygiene, liquid soap, bar soap, toilet tissue, toothpaste, flannels. Yeah. All right, and then there's your pets. Some of us have pets. We have just two guinea pigs, two sweet, lovely guinea pigs. But some people have more than one pet. Some people just have their dog, whatever it is. I don't know much about all of pet food, but I know at least you need food and whatever medical supplies suit that animal, right? And then there's electrical. I think they're called portable chargers, but the chargers that you can just charge and you can travel with them, yeah. And then you know that, like, as long as it's got a battery in there or it's charged up, you can hook up your phone and then that is charged. So think of all the electrical items that can be used that don't have to be plugged into a power source, yeah. And a satellite radio. Number two, each time you go shopping, start to build up your emergency supplies. When I was a child, my mummy always used to say, how do you eat an elephant bit by bit? I know it's like a horrible saying, but the sense in it is that you do things bit by bit. Because I think naturally, when it comes to this topic of like building up your survival items and in an emergency, a lot of us may think, well, listen, every time I open my cupboard, it's an emergency. I don't see much food. It's an emergency right now. And I understand, I get it. But if you just say every time I go shopping, maybe I'll buy a bottle of water, an extra bottle of water this time. Maybe next time I go shopping, I'll buy extra batteries. Do you see? You don't have to get everything at one time. That's not realistic for a lot of us. But bit by bit, if you just purpose in your heart to start building things up, then oh, okay, I'm getting that together, right? Number three, think of one thing you can grow in your home or garden. So some of you who've been following the channel for a while, I'm originally from South London and we've been living in Scotland for 5 years now. We live in the countryside. When we first moved here, I was like, and this is part of the reason why we moved, to be able to grow food. And at first I was gung ho. Oh, we're gonna grow all this stuff. We're gonna grow this and that, and we've got all this land. Yeah, yippee, let's do it. And then I quickly saw, wow, farming is hard work. It's really hard work. And you need to be realistic about how much am I going to plant, because you are going to need to be faithful in weeding and maintaining those crops. So maybe just potatoes and kale, potatoes and a fruit, three things, whatever it is, but you don't have to grow the whole world. Just have a patch of land, a plant in your house. Even if you start off saying, maybe I'll just learn how to grow a herb. I'm not very green fingered at all. It's my husband who is more than me. But I see the times that we're living, and I'm like, Charlotte, if there's any time to get more green fingered, if there's any time to be realistic about preparing and actually putting things in place, the time is now more than ever. It's been the time anyway, but the time is now. So don't be discouraged because you think, oh, I don't have a land, I'm not renting and I have a big plot of land, or I don't have a house and I have a big, no, you just need one area. Yeah, I would prefer for you to be faithful in the little rather than you say, I'm going to do this big thing and then it all just goes to pot. Yeah. So don't be discouraged at all. The fourth thing is something that I think is really important. And if you are growing food, let us know in the comments as well what you're growing. And if you have any gardening tips, share for us people who need to be more green fingered. All right. So number four, doomsday prepper versus faith. So what I mean by this is, maybe you've seen before that there are people who may call themselves doomsday preppers and they have like loads of things, in their home. And I'm not trying to speak badly about them at all. They're just preparing. But then what I want to speak to is this: we don't want to only prep and just hoard supplies. If supplies are taking up all of your space, it can become hoarding. So you see, for me, I don't have a lot of space in my home. We have 2 cupboards, and we decided one cupboard, this is a need, this is a necessity. One cupboard, we're going to make the emergency cupboard. So little by little, we're being intentional with that. So you don't have to have lots of space in your home, whether it's one cupboard or one corner, because guess what? What is more important? You having lots and lots and lots of clothes that you don't need and that you don't wear, or you getting rid of some of that and then making space for emergency supplies that if something goes down, you don't have to feel like, oh my days, who am I going to eat? You think it's a joke? You think it's a joke? We've seen the movies, okay? We've seen how people behave even on a Black Friday when there's surplus, yeah? We've seen how people behave. Now think about how people are going to behave when there's lack. When, oh, everything's gone. Who are they looking to? Where are they going? How are people going to behave? We've seen how people behave when they have what they need. When they don't have what they need, people get nasty. They get disgusting. And that's why the Bible encourages self-control, because when we haven't practiced that self-control around our eating, we're like, everything just starts looking like meat. I don't know if you've seen the movie Madagascar, when the lion, do you remember, for those who have seen it, when the lion was like struggling because he was in a different environment, and then his good friend the zebra just started to look like meat. All he could see was meat. He was like, oh, I'm not at the zoo being fed, I just want to eat you right now. You're my friend, but I just want to eat you. Real life. Do you see what I'm saying? So make sure that you take your time and have what you need. And this is why I encourage decluttering. It's not just about, oh, I'm just getting rid of stuff, being wasteful, just throwing things away. No, it's about getting rid of what you don't need so that you can just make space, make mental space, make space for the people you want in your life, make space for the things that you really want and need in your life. And what we all need right now is emergency supplies. We need to think survival mode, because we see the news, we see what's happening. And it's not about being fearful, because that's another point I want to make as well. It's not about being fearful, it's about being prepared. We need to have faith, but Yah also wants us to be prepared. So as I said, there's a balance. What we're not going to do is just pray and say, oh yeah, I'm just going to pray, God is going to take care of everything, and take zero action. We're not going to do that. And then we're not going to go to the other extreme and then just stock up our house full of stuff. Things are going out of date, things are getting in the way, and now you can't live, you can't move in your home. Your home is now a safety hazard because it's just packed up full of stuff. You're just sitting there catching dust. We don't want that either. Yeah. So let's be sensible about what we're buying and where we're putting it. And I just downloaded some sheets online. Like, you can literally go and just type in emergency kit, survival checklist, emergency items. There's so many different images. You can just go online and print something off. Or my husband was saying you could even use Chat GPT. You can put how many members are in your family. Oh, like, just give it some prompts. Hey, what items do you think would be best in an emergency for a family with 2 children and a cat, a family with 4 children and 3 dogs? Do you see? So it can be done, and it will be done, because I know, just like me, we're all just trying to do the best that we can to protect our family and to look out for others as well. So, this is why I want to share the information. And if there's anything that I've missed out as well, let me know in the comments, because I'm not coming to you as a survival guru. I'm just coming as a mum who wants to know that, hey, I'm trying to do what we can in our power so that we'll be all right if those times come. But ultimately, we know that Yah is going to take care of us, but we're going to use the wisdom that He's given and take action. So, a verse of encouragement. A prudent man foresees the evil and hides himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. Proverbs chapter 22, verse 3. All right then, ladies, thank you for watching. And while you are here, please remember to like and subscribe. Bye.